What up everyone, it's your man XManny87 here, bringing you another Action Force video, and what I have for you today is a Joefest 2023 exclusive Valaverse Action Force Warpath Eclipse action figure review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! First, let's take a close look at the default head out of the box, and it's a neutral face with her war paint on it, and I love this war paint. It looks freaking awesome. I'm a sucker for war paint on figures or characters in general. I just think it makes them look 1,000 times more awesome, right? But the paint apps on this is applied beautifully. I even like how it kind of fades at the top right there. And you get some dark piercing eyes right there. The lips look good. The nose, you know, she has those soft feminine features on her. That looks really nice. I do like the hair too. And I like the side right there that's braided. And you can even see a clip right there, and that's painted too. And the rest of her hair is sculpted nicely. It's beautiful, man. I really love the face sculpt to this and the hair sculpt and all that. She's got a gray scarf, which is removable. You got painted edges right there. And I like the vest too. It's very exoskeletal-like with the spine right there down the middle. Looks very dope. And here's the front of the vest. She's got some pouches right there to store some magazines. And I like the small details right here. As you can see, you get some silver brush to make it look like it has some wear and tear on the vest. So, you know, she's been through some shit with this vest on. And look at her tribal tattoo right here. This is beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite features on the figure. Is look at the details on this tattoo. It's so nice. You got the feathers right there, and it has some tribal pattern, just like the packaging. The character is part Native American. I believe she's half Native American, half Ecuadorian, so it makes sense for her to have this tribal tattoo to, you know, pay homage to her peoples. And this is really, really dope. I love seeing tattoos on figures. I'm a sucker for that. And it even goes further here onto the torso. To remove the vest, you just gotta untab the right side of the figure here. I did get an extra, so I have the vest off so you can see clearly how the tribal pattern continues up towards her traps onto the neck area right there. It just looks so good. Yeah, they did a really, really awesome job with this. And it's because of how awesome this tattoo is. I really don't want to display her with the vest because I don't like hiding fine details like that. You could give her the scarf if you don't want the vest, but with how badass this character looks, she doesn't even need a freaking vest, man. That's how much of a badass vibes she gives off. I like the wrist wraps around her forearms and hands. That looks very good. It's painted in a nice gray color. And she's got her belt right there and a sheath for her knife. She's got her military style pants. So they are in a brown. It's like a two-tone deco. You get some brown, you get some gray right there and the inner thigh padding. Gray kind of knee pads with some wear and tear. So some extra silver paint brushed in there. It looks nice. She got her thigh strap with the holster. You see some extra clips right there. That looks nice. Yeah, and the only thing that bugs me is, you know, I've said it before in my first Valaverse Action Force coverage video, is the proportion, the female proportions. They just need to be better, you know. It's too narrow at the hips, too narrow at the legs, you know. It needs more curvature for sure. And of course the lower leg being bigger than the upper leg, things like that just bother me. I love the texturing he puts all over the pants. It's really nice. And then the boots, I'm a fan of the way the boots look. They should be a little shorter, but again, like I mentioned, the lower leg proportion is bigger than the upper leg, and so, you know, you have that, but you get some nice wear and tear on the shin guard right there, you know, some straps, texturized. Yeah, the boots look really nice, and I love when the bottom of the feet are sculpted too, so that's dope. Despite my gripes with the female proportions, which I know many of you agreed with me when I reviewed Pandora, the overall character design is absolutely beautiful. She has this look that is just meant to take some nice photography in dark lighting. Like nighttime in the jungle, you could capture some really cool, impressive shots. I think that's where she would just pop the most. Even daylight too, not gonna take that away. Overall, she's gonna be such a photogenic character to photograph, and she's just absolutely fucking amazing. For accessories, you get the standard Action Force base that you could place the bio card on. And you can pause it right now if you want to read her full bio. She's got 2 of these magazine clips that you could store onto her vest, so just insert it into her pouch right there. She's got her knife with a nice silver paint right there on the blade, and you could just slide it right there into her sheath. And she's got her handgun with a nice silver paint at the tip of the barrel. And of course, you could take any muzzle effect from the Action Force line, plug it in to give it some flair. Of course, you can hold it as well, and then you can store it into her holster. She also comes with a comma, which you've seen Pandora come with. And just like her dagger, she's got the nice silver paint right there on the blade. And she comes with a rifle, and this is dope. I believe this is an MK18. I'm not entirely sure, but you guys can let me know in the comments. But I love the paint job to this. This is so nice. Got the extra magazine clip right here, which is removable, and it's kind of tough to... Okay, alright, I was about to say, I was struggling there. And she's got 2 more magazine clips to go along with it, and it has a port, so of course you could plug in any kind of Action Force muzzle effect into it. And besides her fist, she comes with a few set of hands, so you got these cupping hands right here. Just gives it a more natural feel when posing. She's got 2 gripping hands, perfect to hold her knife and comma. And lastly, she comes with 2 trigger hands to hold her firearms. And there is another gripe I have to mention besides the female proportions, is how difficult it is to swap the hands. It's just, why is this such a challenge? I don't understand why it is so difficult to swap the hands. It's not easy at all. It's like you have to heat them no matter what, and it's a hard pull. So you know, you got this extra, like a very thick ring around the peg, you know, which is fine, but it should be a little trimmed down. I don't know, man, it shouldn't feel that difficult. It bothers me just because, like, when I'm doing photos and trying to get the figure into another pose and I want a set of hands, it's like, oh man, I gotta, you know, take the figure out of the pose, heat it up with the hairdryer, pop it in. Now, if that doesn't bother you, you know, constantly heating the figure up to swap the hands, fine. I'm just talking about, I'm speaking on behalf of, you know, collectors like me that are just annoyed by how difficult it is to freaking swap these hands. It's too much of a hassle, in my opinion. Like, even trying to insert it, as you can see how difficult it is. And oh shit, it snapped. Fuck! Ah shit, see what I mean? It's prone to breakages. There's no need for this thick ass ring around the wrist peg. Look at the Marvel Legends. Look how easy I can just pop that out, pop that in, pop that out, pop that in. No hassle, you see? No freaking hassle. Because that peg is how it should be. It's just, you know, it just slightly bulges out, but there's nothing to give it any kind of hard friction. I just feel like with this thick ring right there, pushing or pulling just kind of stressed the peg right there. And it looks like there was a cavity right there, which just probably made it easier to break. Damn, I'm bummed, but I will reach out to Valaverse support for a replacement. Thankfully, I got an extra one, so I'm not tripping as much. She's wounded, but, you know, she's got to carry on. She's got to finish the mission, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to finish this damn mission. And look at this alternate head right here with the screaming face. Damn, this is freaking awesome. Now this tells me she's going on a warpath. Holy crap. I like that screaming expression right there. This just looks so good. It might be my favorite head sculpt, but then there's the next one, which she's got this hooded scarf covering her face completely. Hooded scarf or hijab? What's the proper term for this? I don't know. I'm just going to call it a hooded scarf, but man, this looks beautiful. Look at the paint right there on the edges. More paint right there. Damn, this looks so freaking good. Again, this character is great for like dark cinematic photography. She's just perfect. So I don't know which one is my favorite one, this one or the screaming one. And also the screaming one is going to come without the war paint in a future accessory pack for Eclipse. So you're going to have a lot of alternate head options with Eclipse if you grab this Warpath one. I got to give a quick shout out to the homie Articulated Ninja Reviews because he put me on this with putting that hooded scarf head onto the female Spec Ops body, and I just think this looks absolutely amazing. I saw it on display and I'm like, oh man, now you're making me want to grab an extra Eclipse to army build a battalion for her, and I kind of did just that. I took it a little further though, because Articulated Ninja just put the head on this body, but I put some of the Warpath armor on the Spec Ops body. So as you can see, she just looks more advanced, you know. And man, I can't wait for future accessory packs for the female troopers, because I will definitely decorate this some more. So yeah, this look really got me looking forward to seeing how collectors will kit bash and mod amongst these figures. Now for articulation, you're gonna get some good head movement right here. So she looks all the way up, and that's with a layered vest and a scarf, so that's really good. And she looks that far down. She looks left, right, barely any tilt, some tilting. Arms move about that far up, so slightly higher than a straight T-pose. It moves down, you can swing them around. You got the bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, that's great range. Wrist swivel, traditional wrist hinge, and I'm still bummed out about the wrist breaking on my other one. Gotta bring out the Hank Hill now, god damn it, Bobby. And then for the trigger hands, you have the vertical hinge. She's got a double diaphragm joint, but with the layered vest, you're really not going to get much. So you're going to get about that far forward and that far back. And it does pivot side to side. It's not a good demonstration. So let me show you without the vest. So she bends about that far forward, which is good, decent. Moves that far back, and she's got the waist swivel, upper torso swivel, and it has a deep pivot. So yeah, better motion there. Legs spread that far apart so she can make a full split, and she has the drop down leg mechanic. Her legs can kick about that far up and that far back, full frontward split. You got your standard domestic style thigh swivel, and you have double jointed pinless knees, no heel to the Warpath butt. You got a boot swivel. Ankles move about that far forward, that far up, and she's got really nice ankle pivot. To kick off comparisons, here is Warpath Eclipse next to some other Action Force females. We have Pandora and Killswitch. I don't have the regular Eclipse. I'm kicking myself for not getting her day one at Joefest since she sold out. I'll definitely have to pick it up someday, but I wish I just picked it up then, just so I can have the comparison side by side here. Here she is next to some other males in the line. We have Sergeant Slaughter and Night Ops Steel Brigade. If you want to give her some enemies to fight, here she is next to some Scarabs and Swarm Troopers. Lastly, for some fun scaling reference, here she is next to a female and male G.I. Joe Classified Series, Zarana and Spirit. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is an 8.25 out of 10. I'm going to lead with saying that she's already the best Action Force female figure in the line already. I know we only have about 5 or 6 total, but while most fans of the line are gushing over Pandora, this is the one for me that I'm going to keep raving about. When I say best, I mean overall character design, since they all pretty much share the same bodies. Her design is what sparked my interest for the females in the line. The war paint, the hooded scarf, the tribal tattoo, and tactical gear colors just hit all cylinders in terms of visuals for me. Also, I want to take a second to tell everyone who attended Joefest and got to meet me in person or ask for an autograph that I loved interacting with each and every one of you. And thank you so much for the kind words and recognition. Every single person told me how they appreciated me for always keeping things real and holding companies accountable, being the voice of the voiceless and such. Just thank you so much. Every night at my hotel, I caught myself getting choked up a bit because it means the world to me, and it makes doing what I do that much more worth it. You know I'm a real one and will always keep it real whether you agree or disagree. Speaking of keeping it real, despite the figure breaking on me, I don't want to take away how good of a figure this is. The line is still new, so it's going to go through some growing pains before it's perfected, and even then, nothing is perfect, as breakages are inevitable no matter what line you collect. Great thing with independent companies such as this is that they have their ears to the ground with listening to the fans and will go the distance to course correct. Unlike corporate Mongols such as Hasbro that won't care at all and throw anything in that egg roll paper bag. They'll even go as far as promoting their own QC in their promo shots. They take pride in that shit. Yeah, you could tell me I'm an idiot or whatever for not heating it up before swapping. I don't give a shit, but it doesn't take away the fact that it should be easier and smoother for a collector-friendlier experience instead of dealing with that hassle of constantly heating it up. I feel like I shouldn't have to do that. Sure, I could have avoided that breakage by heating it up first, but hey, lesson learned, and I'll just have to deal with it for now until maybe newer 2.0 bodies get introduced and get a better and smoother functionality for the wrist swaps. I don't see any other reviewers calling out how much of a pain in the ass it is to swap the hands. Guess I'll be the only one to do so. However, to be honest, out of the 30 plus Valaverse figures I own, this is the first breakage I ran into. Whereas companies like Hasbro and NECA, it's like 1 out of every 4. Speaking from my own experience, of course, I know everyone's is different. All I can do as a reviewer is take this feedback to Bobby Vala, and it's up to him to take the right course of actions behind the scenes. Again, I'm just a reviewer. Don't shoot me. The articulation is pretty much solid on all areas. She's loaded with accessories, and that's one of the best things about Action Force. You'll always get a shit ton of accessories with multiple hands that's standardized across. You get 3 heads with this figure. I think this is the most heads included in an Action Force figure. Guns, knives, the whole kit and caboodle for military figures. I had a great time photographing her, and she also has a ton of army building with kit bash potential. So the replay value is through the roof with this figure. I've played with this figure nonstop for a week straight since Joefest and don't plan on putting this down. This figure now has sentimental value for me from the incredible experience shared with my fans at Joefest, and it's a 2023 top 10 contender in my eyes. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think about this Warpath Eclipse? Were you able to go to Joefest and secure one, or are you waiting for it to go live on the Valaverse shop website? What would you like to see next for the Action Force females? Some female stormtroopers would be nice. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.